Hello. In our speech communication class, we have been learning a lot about, communication. One of the communication skills we have discussed, and one that I personally use, is emotional regulation and emotional intelligence. Today, I will be discussing an interpersonal relationship theory that is closely related to emotional intelligence called the FIRO theory. I will discuss what the FIRO theory is and how it relates to communication. I will also use the characters from one of my favorite movies, Shrek, to explain the levels of the FIRO theory and what I gained from my research of this theory. The FIRO theory was introduced in 1958 by Dr. Will Schultz. Dr. H.L. Thompson, the CEO of an international management consulting and training firm, wrote an article called Organizational Interpretive Report for the internet site FIROinternational.com. That gives an overview of the FIRO theory. In this article, he explains that FIRO, which is Fundamental Interpersonal Relations Orientation, presents three dimensions of interpersonal relations to explain most human interactions. These dimensions were inclusion, control, and openness. Dr. Schultz created an instrument that consists of scales that measures the behavior aspects of these three dimensions. So inclusion is the area concerned with achieving the desired amount of contact with people. How much some people like hanging out in groups and how some people like to be alone. Control is the area concerned with achieving the desired amount of control over people. Some people like being a leader and telling others what to do. Some would rather be led. The third area is concerned with achieving just the desired amount of openness. Some people like to share all of their business, and some are very private. Are you confused? I was too at first. Then I read another article by Celeste Blackman, an international business consultant. She wrote an article titled A Brief Summary of the FIRO Theory for the Human Element website. In that article, she really breaks everything down. She writes that the FIRO theory can help us gain a better perspective of ourselves and others. She states that the FIRO theory identifies three basic needs that all human beings share: the need to feel significant, competent, and likable. These needs express themselves across three levels of human interaction: behavior, feelings, and self-concept. Within each level, there are three main areas of human concern: inclusion, control, and openness. In order to achieve a satisfying self-concept, we are always seeking to negotiate just the right amount of inclusion, control, and openness that we desire in order to feel significant, competent, and likable. We want these elements in just the right amount in order to feel good about ourselves. The better we feel about ourselves, the better we feel about others, which we will show in how we act toward others and how we communicate with others. This is the reason Shrek and Fiona started falling in love. They were receiving these elements from each other, and it made them happy. But what happens when we are not receiving these elements to satisfy our self-concept? Our behavior becomes defensive. Donkey's self-concept was that he was not being valued. Fear of being ignored caused him to talk all the time out of the fear of being ignored. Fiona's self-concept was she was incapable of being the princess that everyone thought she should be. Her fear of being humiliated by someone finding out about who she really is caused her to have an attitude toward Shrek. Shrek's self-concept was disliked. He had a fear of being rejected. That caused him to scare everyone away from him. In other assignments in this class, I have spoken about my employees and how I would like to improve the communication in our section. I have learned through my research of the Firo theory that I can increase communication and production by making sure my employees feel significant, competent, and likable, which in turn improves their self-concepts. Joe Maddox, an occupational psychologist, wrote in an article from the Human Element website entitled Firo Theory, 50 Years of Emotional Intelligence, says that at the heart of any personal development is self-esteem. Self-esteem are the feelings we have towards our self-concepts. These fuel our thoughts, affects our awareness of others, and determines our behavior and emotional intelligence. Once Shrek and Fiona felt they were likable, competent, and significant to one another, they were able to be more open with each other and realize they were meant for each other. And everything worked out. Well, maybe with my newfound knowledge of the Firo theory, things will work out with my employees as well. Thank you for your time.